Welcome everybody for our first of 6 summer sizzling webinars. We put together 6 sessions that we thought were very time appropriate for this time of the year, and we cannot wait to share them with you. In fact, if you're wondering, well, what's this? I just signed up for this one. What about the other 5? We're doing these Mondays and Wednesdays at 12 noon Eastern for the next 3 weeks. So if you haven't yet, of course, you may have gone there or signed up for this one. The other ones are listed on there as well. You go to gloveru.com/webinar to join us. We took a look at all of the feedback that we got from our retreat in Traverse City a few weeks ago. And of course, I know many of you may have been at that event. And we went back and looked at our breakout sessions, the material that we put together, the information that we shared, and we made some edits and we made some modifications, and we put together a 6-part webinar series that we believe are important for agents to succeed in the last half of the year. So for the list of the rest of them, again, you go to gloveru.com/webinar to check those out every Monday and Wednesday at noon Eastern for the next 3 weeks. So we got 6 of them. Today's session, Master the Phones, one of our all-time favorites, and quite honestly, usually our most popular, because so many people know us as, all right, you go to GloverU to learn how to be a great salesperson, right? You go to GloverU to learn how to master the phones, how to master what to say, what to text, what to email, what to private message. We cover all of that, and we're excited to share with you some great thoughts for today. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, because I know every single time we do a webinar, especially when they're free, we always have first timers on. I want to share with you some important free resources. For those of you that have been back several times, bear with us for a few minutes while I get through these free resources, although 1 or 2 of them are fairly new that you may not even have yourself. But before I do, I want to mention my name is Jeff Glover. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I've been in the business almost 20 years, in fact, 19 years as of this past May. And I am on the ground with you listing and selling personally between 75 and 100 homes per year. And I'm also leading a team that sells between 900 and 1,000 homes a year. So when we say we're on the ground, I mean it, right? I've got listing appointments later this week. I've had, obviously last week, a couple of listing appointments and buyer consultations. So we're sharing with you, that's probably one of the biggest differences between GloverU and the rest. We're sharing with you exactly what we're doing as it's happening. We're always updating our information. We're always updating our scripts based on what's happening in the market today. For more information, you can find us at gloveru.com on anything. All right, so let me share with you a few resources. A couple of these are new, so I want to get this down before we jump in today's topic. If everyone can do me a favor and write down the word morning, MORNING, morning. And next to that, I want you to write 55444. 55444. If you text the word morning to that phone number, yep, I know it's only 5 digits, somehow it works. If you text the word morning to that number, you will be signed up for our free daily message. This is not enrolling in any sort of spam. We're not going to email, or I'm not going to text you a bunch of different spam. We already do enough of that. This is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning message. Usually something informative, something inspirational, something motivating, something that is very relevant to what's happening right now. For instance, today's message, I talked all about how expired season has begun and the value of prospecting on the first and second day of the month. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have a different message, and I recommend you sign up for that. It's completely free, and it's usually the same message that I'm sharing with our team. So you text the word morning to 55444. There's no cost. You're automatically enrolled. Next, for some of you who are already doing that right now while you have your phone in your hand, I want you to open up your Facebook app. So when you open up your Facebook app, on the right-hand side, there's going to be a little magnifying glass. Now, many of you are already in this, so I'll share this briefly. When you click on the magnifying glass, I want you to type in Glover U Inner Circle. Glover space, the letter U space Inner Circle. That is a free Facebook group. I think there's almost 7,000 agents from around North America in there between the US and Canada. There's a lot of good ideas shared in there, a lot of good scripts, people looking for role play partners, agent-to-agent referrals. It's a good place to be. It really is kind of like the one-stop shop for all of our resources. And that's the Glover U Inner Circle Facebook group. All right, so you should have that. I know most of you guys are in there. For those of you that are new to the group or are first-time attendees, it's going to ask you if you would like to subscribe to our Gazette. All right. Our monthly Gazette is our quarterly Gazette is a publication that we send out. 35,000 copies go out to realtors across the US and Canada every single quarter. It's 45 to 50 pages of real, relevant real estate business information. It's completely free. If you'd like to sign up for that, as you're joining the inner circle, it's going to ask you, would you like to sign up for the Gazette? Now, some of you who are already in the inner circle and you want to sign up for the Glover Gazette, you just go to gloveru.com/Gazette, GLOVER, the letter U.com/Gazette. We will make sure you're on our mailing list. We cover the postage, we cover the printing. That's on us. All right. And that's called the Glover Gazette. Last and certainly not least, another free resource. I know a lot of you listen to podcasts. We've got one. Many of you are already listening to it. We've got over 100,000 downloads. Or just under 100,000 downloads. We'll probably hit 100,000 before the summer's over. That's called the Live Unreal Podcast. LIVE space UNREAL, Live Unreal Podcast. So for those of you looking for podcasts, you can get that information. I recommend you listen to a different podcast each day. There's 5 days in the week. Make ours one of them. It's all real, relevant real estate business information. All right. So there you have it for your free resources. Wanted to make sure for those of you that are first timers that you've got those. And if you've been coming back and maybe you didn't know about the daily message, now you got it. Or if you need to be in the inner circle, there you go. You know how to get in there. Okay. Today's particular topic, master the phone, secrets of successful prospecting-based listing agents. We have on Coach Justin Ford, who quite honestly is the most credible resource for this particular topic. For those of you that don't know Justin actually started as an agent on our team his first day in the business. He became our top level prospector. He learned and mastered the phones, winning awards month after month. I mean, taking 10, 12, 15 listings a month from his efforts. And then became our rookie of the year, a top producer, listing and selling over 100 homes in his first 12 months with us, all through the phones. Because of that, he then became our inside sales manager, where we put Justin in charge of saying, hey, we want you to teach everyone who joins the company, everyone who joins the team on how to do the exact same thing you just did. And then from there, he went on to do his own thing and is still succeeding at listing and selling between 75 and 100 homes per year personally. So Justin, the floor is yours. Let's talk about mastering the phones and the secrets of successful prospecting-based agents like yourself.
Absolutely, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me, and welcome everybody to our webinar today. We're always super excited to be able to share this information with you. And the reason why is because, like Jeff said, it works. This is, I believe, the fastest way to create now business, especially if you're a new agent or even a seasoned agent. You know, what I say is this, right? Currently, right now in your business, if you don't have the amount of listings that you want, or you're not making the amount of money that you want, or you're not just seeing the results that you want in your business, it's real simple. And the answer is you're just not talking to enough people. And so when you think of, how do I create more opportunities? How do I take more listings? Well, you need to be in front of people, and not just here and there, but on a daily basis. And the information that I'm going to share with you today is exactly the things that I've done and do to create the results that I have today. Like Jeff said, in my very first 12 months in the business with his team, sold 100 homes a year. And I spent every single day prospecting for sale by owners and expireds. And so we're going to talk about that today. But I just want to encourage you, right? You're here today. You want to learn more about mastering the phones. And so how do we get there? And anytime that I share with a group, anytime that I share, on prospecting, I always ask everybody in the group, right? How many of you guys have at least tried to prospect at some point or another? And so if that's you, just drop a 777 in the chat right now. If at some point or another, you've picked up the phone and you've at least said, you know what, I'm going to at least try this, or I've tried this before. And, for whatever reason why you just never stuck with it, or maybe you have and you're just not seeing the results that you ultimately want to have. And obviously the majority of you are pressing 777 right now. And I had a question, for the group. We were in Traverse City a couple of weeks ago. I'm in a breakout session, and I asked everybody, well, if the majority of you have at least attempted or tried to pick up the phones, why aren't you currently doing it, right? Why aren't you currently doing it and consistently doing it. So I just want you to take a quick moment and just type in one of the main reasons why you feel, hey, I'm not doing this consistently, or I've struggled with this. You know, sometimes we hear it's fear of rejection, not knowing what to say. So real quick, just drop a one. Yeah, rejection, I don't enjoy it. What else? I know there's a lot of different reasons why we time blocking, prioritization, like there it all goes, right? It's just a ton of reasons why we don't do this, right? It's boring, right? It gets in the way, procrastination, not knowing what to say, you know, fear of rejection, lack of structure, not seeing results immediately, you know, too few numbers, you know, there's too many agents calling, people can be rude and mean, right? Guys, these are all legitimate reasons why people don't pick up the phone and do this consistently. But what I want to encourage you with this is whatever you wrote down and whatever is the reason why you have not done this consistently, somebody said all of the above. But the reason is, guys, is because we've come up with these excuses or reasons why we don't do it. But here's the great thing that I want to share with you, right? You can overcome those things, right? You can overcome those things. I don't think any human being naturally likes rejection. I don't think anybody naturally likes to be told no. But the great thing is, guys, is you can overcome those things and you can learn how to show up every single day and prospect and get the results that you're ultimately looking for. So before we get into the meat and the potatoes of why, you know, it's important to prospect, but also some scripts that you should be, you know, calling and using right now, some objection handlers that you can use immediately to overcome, you know, some of those objections you have, and we might even have some time for a little bit of live role play. How many of you guys want to see Jeff and I do some live role play at the end? Just type yes if you want to see us do some live role play. Okay, I think we're getting a bunch of yeses, Jeff, so we're gonna have to make time for that. But guys, you know, I want to share with you guys, because people often ask me, Justin, what are the tips and the secrets? What's the secret sauce to prospecting? Well, I'll be honest with you guys, there really is no secret sauce, right? Jeff doesn't have any secrets in his back pocket. I don't have any secrets in my back pocket, but there's some steps, guys, and I want to give you guys some steps. And if you've heard me speak before, and I'm not going to go into depth on this, but I'm going to give it to you guys. But if you've ever heard me speak before, and if you've ever heard my story, I'm often asked, Justin, how have you been able to create so much success in prospecting or in real estate? And I remember the first time that I was asked to share that publicly on a stage, you know, I spent some time writing down 6 keys to success that really caused me to really identify what it is that's holding people back and how to ultimately get to where you want to be, especially in prospecting. And so I want you, if you have a pad, a paper, and a pen, or you're taking notes, I want you to jot these down really quickly. And then we're going to move into really talking about how you can now create the foundation of being ready to get on the phones and really hit it hard, okay? Number one, guys, when I looked back at my very first year in business with Jeff, I remember, you know, writing down what my goal for my first 12 months in the business was. And so I want you to write down, number one, and everything starts with the goal, right? Everything starts with the goal. You know, too many people get on the phones and just wing it. Too many people just pick up the phones, make a few calls, you get a few no's, and then you just like, this doesn't work, it's not for me. Well, guys, if you don't have a clear goal as to why you're doing prospecting or what your ultimate goal is, then you're really not gonna succeed at it. You have to start with the goal. And so I remember writing down, okay, my first year I want to sell 100 homes. And Jeff, you even helped me with this. Jeff helped me take the formula of selling 100 homes and backed it down to not only how many listing appointments do I need to go on, how many listings do I need to take, but ultimately how many people do I need to talk to every hour for 3 to 4 hours a day to ultimately get to 100 homes sold. Because guys, everything starts with a conversation. And because we're in real estate, what are we looking for? To have conversations. So number one, you have to start with the goal, right? What is your goal? If you're going to pick up the phones and prospect, what is your ultimate goal? You need to write down your goal and you need to build a plan around your goal. Number two, write this down. You know, you have to know your why. So you might say, well, hey, Justin, I want to make $200,000 in the next 12 months in real estate. And I'm going to ask you why. I want to sell 100 homes. Why? What does that ultimately lead you to? What is the reason why you want to sell X amount of homes? What is the reason why you want to make X amount of money? Because you need to be able to attach your goal to a purpose or an outcome or a why that gets you fired up and excited, willing to pick up the phones and make calls, right? You can't just pick up the phones and just make calls for no reason. There has to be a purpose behind it. And so you really have to identify your why as to why you do what you do, right? When I sat down, I created a vision board. I put it right on the wall next to 100 homes sold. And I knew what making my phone calls and selling 100 homes was ultimately going to lead to. I had a big why, and that why stayed in front of me on a regular basis because it became the motivation of why I would pick up the phones and why I would sit through countless no's. Number 3, right? And I think this is where most people get hung up. You have to create a strong mindset, right? The reason why we struggle, we deal with fear, rejection, all of these things, it starts right here, right? It starts in our mindset. We either have an abundant mindset or we have a scarcity mindset. We either believe we can or we believe we can't. We either see the glass full or we see the glass half empty. And this is where I find most people struggle picking up the phones and prospecting. Why? Because it's right here. And so how do we create a strong mindset? Well, first off, we have to identify where the struggle first comes from. And once we've understood that, hey, you know what? I deal with fear, or I deal with rejection, or I do have a scarcity mindset, or there's some things, insecurities or whatever. Once you've identified those, you can begin to work on those, right? Listen, when I first picked up the phones, I don't know if you've ever heard me tell the story, but in my first day, I literally almost quit. 45 minutes in, I'm like, this sucks. I'm not doing this. Why? Because I didn't want to take the no's. I didn't want to put in the work, right? It was hard. Nobody likes to be told no. Nobody likes rejection. But guys, I made a decision in that moment that I was going to learn how to make these calls, and I was going to control my mindset and what it was trying to tell me in order to get to the ultimate end goal of what I wanted. And so when you create a strong mindset, you have to realize, guys, that every single one of us, we have days where we wake up and we don't feel like it. We have days when we wake up and we're like, man, the last thing I want to do is pick up a phone and call some people and be told no, or told get a real job, or all the things that people say to you when you're making calls. We have to understand and realize, guys, that there's going to be roadblocks, right? There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be excuses that will pop up and try to tell us why we shouldn't do this. Well, you need to identify those. And so I recommend taking out a list, even after this call, and saying, okay, what are the excuses I normally tell myself? What are the obstacles that normally get in the way? What are the things that keep me from, wanting to show up and make calls and take more listings? And then what I say is this: now on the right side of that list, you want to identify what are some things to help you get out of that funk when you're in the drain, right? Or when you're not feeling right, or your mindset is in a low place. What are some things that you can do or you have done in the past to help you get back on track, to help you get fired back up again, to help you shake off that discouragement, whatever it is? And you build out your mindset plan, because you have to create a strong mindset, right? You have to build that. You have to build a plan around it. And so what I recommend is, what are the things that you can do? One of the things that Jeff often talks about is having a mindset break. When you're prospecting, have a mindset break. And what does that mean? Well, when you take a mindset break, maybe you go out and walk around for a little bit. Maybe you turn on your favorite song. Maybe you get all hyped up and do some jumping jacks in the office. Maybe you put on a motivational video, whatever it may be. Or one thing that him and I used to do together was, after you prospect in the morning, you go work out at lunch, right? Something to kind of reset you and get you back and fired up and in the zone. Because again, guys, not feeling like it is a part of the process. Nobody just wakes up fired up every single day, 365 days a year, ready to go and make it happen, right? So you just got to have a plan in place on how you're going to create a strong mindset, right? Because this right here. This is why we're not consistent, right? This is why we're not getting the results that we want to. This is why we don't show up and give it our absolute best. Number 4 is, when we know we've identified our goals, when we know what our why is, we're working on our strong mindset. Now what? Number 4 is, we have to commit to being consistent. Consistency is so important, right? You're never going to see the results that you want to if you just prospect sporadically, or if you prospect here and there, or if you don't really have a schedule. We're going to talk about that in a minute. if you don't have a schedule or structured time built into your daily regimen, then guess what? You're never going to see the results that you want. Consistency is vital. When I started working with Jeff, I committed to prospect every day from 8 a.m. until noon, 4 hours a day. And I still, on my calendar, it's blocked out. That's the most important appointment on my schedule, is my prospecting time. I don't go on listing appointments in the morning. I don't do closings in the morning. I don't meet with buyers in the morning. I don't show homes in the morning. And so I guess that could be a secret. If you want to know one of the secrets to a prospecting based listing agent, is you guard your morning, right? That right there is your most important part of your day. Why? Because I'm not going to go out on a listing appointment in the morning and miss out on potentially setting 2 or 3 more appointments to go out on an appointment and maybe not get it, right? And Jeff taught me that very early on. You guard your morning, right? You guard your morning and you build in that prospecting time. But without a commitment to consistency, guys, you're never really going to see the results that you want to create. Number 5, we've all heard this, but guys, I'm going to bring it back to you. You have to have discipline. You have to have discipline, right? Discipline is the thing that separates people who are succeeding at a high level and people that are not, right? And some people lack discipline. Most people lack discipline. So we need to have discipline to show up and do the things that we know we need to do. Discipline is someone even said, the reason why they struggle prospecting, because it's boring. It is. I remember the day I went to Jeff, I'm like, dude, this is getting boring. He's like, you need to learn how to master repetitious boredom, right? Because calling and doing the same thing over and over and over again, especially for somebody like myself who's a high expressive, right? That doesn't come natural. But you have to be disciplined in order to commit to consistency and really show up every single day so that you can ultimately get the results that you want to get. And then number 6.
Before you get to number 6, because we did have a question in the chat there. You have to sometimes be okay with maybe losing a client or 2. Be okay with maybe losing an appointment or 2, because that's why so many agents have such a yo-yo up and down business. Because, well, I'm so busy with clients right now, I'm so busy with buyers, I got to use all my time to go show them homes. And that's great. You feel good, you're meeting people, you're servicing, but then next thing you look up after you've got some of your listings under contract or some of your buyers under contract, you're out of clients. I mean, I think all of us at one point in time, Justin, have been there when we're like, holy crap, I have no more listings left. I have no more clients left. That is because you do this yo-yo with your schedule versus guarding the morning and knowing that you're going to have to say no sometime to clients. Now, Justin, from time to time, if somebody absolutely has to have the morning, where do we go? We go to the weekend, maybe Saturday morning. Or from time to time, if someone's like an out-of-state transferee and they're only in for one day, well, then fine. From time to time, you make an exception. But the exception is like once monthly, not right. Once a week or twice a week. Otherwise, you'll have this constant yo-yo business where when you're busy, it feels good. And those checks are coming in the next 30 days. But while those checks are coming in, while you're servicing that business, you're out of new clients. You have no more listings. You have no more new buyers because you're not guarding the morning.
Yep. And that's a great question and a great answer, guys. And it has to be an exception, right? Because again, this is your lead generation time. And if like we discussed when we first started, what's the main reason why we don't have the amount of listings or clients that we want? It's because we're not talking to enough people. So that morning block has to be the time where we're intentionally talking to people, right? And then number 6, guys, after the 6 keys to success, number 1 is you have to set a goal. Number 2 is you have to know your why. Number 3 is you have to create a strong mindset. Number 4, you have to commit to consistency. Number 5, you have to be disciplined. And number 6, guys, which I think is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle, is accountability, right? You have to have somebody holding you accountable to what it is that you want to accomplish. Again, when I was on Jeff's team, Jeff held me accountable, right? We would put our morning schedule right out there for everybody to see. And I remember even going and giving my schedule to Jeff, like, please hold me accountable to this. My vision board, having it on my wall, like, Jeff knew what I was looking to accomplish. And so Jeff held me accountable to ultimately showing up every single day. Matter of fact, we had a 7:30 morning call every day, accountability call, where we had to check in. We had to share how many contacts we made, how many appointments we went on, how many listings did we take. and then create new goals for the day. And that was in front of the whole team. So talk about accountability. That was huge accountability. But accountability, go ahead.
And I would be pretty ruthless, Justin. I mean, you might remember, I would pop in your office or any of the agent's office and say, it's 9:30 in the morning. Why are you looking at a purchase agreement right now?
Right.
And agents kind of like deer in headlights. Well, it just came in on my listing, and is it going to be there at lunchtime? Well, yeah. Well, you're thrown off schedule right now because you had an offer come in overnight. It's going to be there at lunchtime. You don't need to even open that email right now, right?
Right. Yeah. And when it came to prospecting, you wouldn't be in your email. You wouldn't be on your cell phone. You wouldn't be on Facebook. You'd be consistently committing to doing this, and Jeff would hold you accountable to that. And so accountability, guys, I believe, is the thing that causes people to accomplish their goals and show up when they don't feel like it. Because if you create your goals, you know your why, you're creating a strong mindset, you're committing to consistency and have discipline. But let's just say there's a day where you're like, man, I'm just going to take it off and no one's going to know. Well, guess what? Accountability knows. So whether it's accountability with a team member, whether it's accountability with a broker, whether it's accountability with a coach or a mentor, right? Accountability is what takes someone from here to here. And if you've heard my story, accountability is what took me, guys, in 2018 from 5.8 million to last year doing 31 million in personal volume. And the missing key of the 6 keys to success for me was accountability. And Coach Kate, many of you guys know her, I hired her to be my coach even before I was a coach at Glover U. And that accountability took me to the next level. So accountability, guys, is key. And so when you look at these 6 keys to success, guys, this becomes the foundation now for you to transition into not just showing up and just winging it, not just showing up and, well, I'm going to try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No, this is a full-blown foundational blueprint for you to say, you know what, I'm ready to show up. I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to make this happen to get the results that you're looking to get. And so now let's talk about it, right? So we've all heard, guys, we've all heard about, expired listings, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold, right? Circle prospecting. There's all sorts of different ways to pick up the phone. But when we look at where can we generate now business, right? Where can we generate now business? Well, just like Jeff talked about in the beginning of this call, August 1st, August 2nd, the first and second month of days of the month, guys, are the absolute best time to call expired listings. Why? Because that's when most listings are expiring, right? If you're running a listing through, July 31st, well, it's released and it becomes available on August 1st, right? And so I want to give you guys some opportunities to where, how can I generate now business? How can I show up? What script should I be using? What should I say? And really, Justin, why should I make calls in such a competitive market when there's not a lot of expired listings? Well, we're going to hop in. Go ahead.
Before Justin jumps into it, I want to say everything we share, if whether this is your first webinar with Glover U or your 50th webinar, know that we are committed to only sharing things that are real and relevant to right now. Nothing that we share is something that we read in a book. Nothing that we share is something we did 5-10 years ago. We're only sharing what we're doing right now because we are on the ground with you, including Justin. And that is his number one source of business is through the phone. So when we talk about, a lot of people say, well, there's not a lot of expireds right now. So why are we talking about expireds? You can still win with expireds. There's other ways to win with expireds. And there are still expireds every single day, just using that as an example.
Absolutely. Sorry. And so we're going to dive right into that. I know some of you guys are sending some questions over. So first off, where do you get expireds? Just like the one question came in. Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can identify where expired listings come from. I use Vulcan 7. I've always used Vulcan 7. That's the dialer I was introduced to when I started with Jeff 8 years ago. Vulcan 7, right? They have Mojo, RedX, Land Voice. There's a lot of different ways, guys, that you can go out and purchase a dialer or purchase leads. I recommend, if you're going to do this and do it at a high level, you have to have a dialer, right? It's going to be very hard to do it one by one, okay? And so why right now? Why is it important to still call expired listings? Why? Because, guys, these are people right now who are looking for a great real estate agent, right? For whatever reason, their home didn't sell, right? But they have a reason why they're looking to sell. And you and I know in this market, if a home didn't sell, it was definitely something was wrong because everything's selling. So whether it was overpriced or something was wrong with it, you want to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. I want you to write this down. This is a mindset shift for those that are afraid or afraid of rejection or don't like the no's. Guys, when you make calls, expect the no's. How different would it be to get to the plate where you expect the clients that you're talking to say no? When you put your dialer on, like most people are afraid because they get the first few no's and they're like, oh man, I can't take it. Well, guys, when I pick up the phone, I expect people to say no. I'm just looking for 1, 2, 3, people per day to say yes, right? And so I expect the no. So expect the no, right? People are going to tell you no. What we do is we want to teach you how to get good at converting the no into a yes, right? Because no's are obviously objections, and we want to teach you guys how to overcome objections, okay? So right now, expireds are definitely a source that you want to prospect. We have scripts right now that you can get right on our website at gloveru.com under the resource tab. And we have an expired script where we outline the best 9 questions that you should be asking every single person you call on an expired call, right? And the purpose of the call, and I want you to write this down, right? Selling is not telling, selling is asking questions. If you're not picking up a script, or if you're making phone calls without a script, you've already lost, okay? You cannot wing this. You have to identify what scripts to use and the purpose behind the script. And so we have our expired script. It's called the Glover U expired script. And right on that script, we give you the intro. Good morning. My name is Justin Ford. I'm a local realtor. The reason for my call is twofold. 1, to be sure that you know that your home is no longer listed for sale. And 2, to see what your plans are for the property. We have an intro for you right then and there. You can go right into it. Then we start giving you the questions to ask. And these 9 questions, guys, are designed for one purpose: to discover their motivation, right? And you also want to find out why their home didn't sell with their last agent. And then build out a plan to know exactly what they're looking for. So when you go in for the close, you know exactly what they need and you can be the solution. When I make calls to expireds, I look at myself as a solution, right? I call them because they need a solution. I'm the solution. I want to be the solution that they need to help them get their home sold. Guys, if you're an agent, what are we all looking for? Clients, right? There's no faster way to get a client, a now client, than picking up the phone. Just 2 months ago, I use this as an example. Now, this doesn't happen often, but it does happen. I call an expired listing. Hey, I was just calling to see when you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home. Now, I need an agent now. Okay, great. Well, hey, when can we set up a time to meet? Can you come out today? Sure. I go out and meet with them, get the listing that day, have it on the market by the end of the week, listed over the weekend. And by Monday, I had a full price cash offer. In less than a week, guys, I went from picking up the phone to making some calls to getting a listing to putting it on the market to getting it under contract. Where else can you do that in this business? There's no faster or better way than picking up the phone and making calls. Here's another great thing. It's the lowest entry-level cost of any other source. Think about it. To pay for a dialer, which is an investment, and make calls, guys, is cheaper than any other way. Paying for leads, doing this, doing that. Guys, this is the best way to pick up the phone. And so, often I say, well, Justin, I only have 10 expireds in my market. I only have 15 expireds in my market, right? Well, guys, you can either look at that from an abundant mindset or a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset says, I don't have a chance, right? There's too many people calling. By the time I call, I don't have a chance. An abundant mindset says they haven't talked to me yet, and I'm going to be the best person that they talk to today. And so, guys, I'll give you an example. When I worked for Jeff, there's 20 people calling the exact same lead every day, sometimes to the point where someone would say, is this another Jeff Glover agent? Right off the bat. And you know what I would say? Absolutely. Have you already set an appointment with one of us? No, I haven't. Great. Hey, the reason for my call is, and then I'd go right into my script. And here's what's amazing. If you have a scarcity mindset, yes, it is. I'm sorry for calling. Have a great day. You hang up. Someone with an abundant mindset, guys, you know how many times I set appointments with people? I don't care if they talk to 50 of us. They haven't talked to me yet. Okay. And so it's a mindset shift on how you approach making the calls. And that's all it is. It's just the change in your mindset. You want to be the best person that they talk to. Where do we get that? Going back to building and creating a strong mindset. You need to build yourself up and create that mindset that allows you to call people no matter how many times they've been called, no matter how many appointments they've set with other people. I block all of that out. It's just me and them at that point. Okay.
Now,
And so that's
Justin,
another, go ahead, Jeff.
on the topic of expireds, I know obviously today we talk a lot about the answer rate is lower today than it was, say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, meaning in a 1 hour period, it was pretty expected that you would talk to 10 to 12 people per hour. Now, I know a lot of our clients, and of course, you're dealing with it exclusively as you prospect. And of course, a lot of our agents right out here in the hall are saying it's more like 7 to 8 contacts per an hour over the phone. However, they're still getting the extra 2 or 3 that are not saying hello via text, via email. Can you talk a little bit about how you're utilizing those resources to get more contacts?
Yep. And I'll also say this, guys, and you want to write this down as well. This is a little tip, a little secret that I use when not just calling expireds or for sale by owners, but calling agents when I'm trying to get more information on a listing. Call twice, right? Call twice. A lot of times when they see an unrecognized number, I do the same thing. I don't answer it. But if someone calls back twice, a robo dialer or a robocall or one of those auto dialer calls, they're not going to call you back twice. And so if I see a great listing opportunity, and you know what, sometimes I'll hit the button to call them twice. And guys, I'll tell you this, 50-60% of the time they pick up on the second ring because they realize it's not a robocall. Okay. Another thing, depending on what area you're prospecting, let's say you're primarily focusing on a specific area, guys, you can send them a text message as well, but even do it as a video text, right? Jeff talks about this all the time. You just pull out your camera. You don't have to do anything fancy. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, this is Justin Ford. I see that 123 Main Street just came off the market. I was actually just reaching out to see if the home is still available. Would love to speak with you. Or, hey, are you taking any offers on the home? Give me a call. So what you do is with a video text, that stands out. So you can call them, you can video text them. Another thing that you can do is you can send them a video email because some of the lead sources actually give you an email. And if you want to really get specific on area, go knock on their door, right? Go knock on their door. You can also door knock expired listings. You can send mailers to expired listings. There's a lot of different ways, guys, that you can get in front of expired listings. We already know that the majority of agents don't call expired listings. So add in that layer of a video text, add in the layer if you got their email, sending an email, add in the layer of, hey, block out some time in the afternoon where maybe you go knock on 10, 15 expireds or 5 to 10, whatever. Now you're hitting them from all angles, guys. Again, there's no shortage of business out here, and there's still a lot of opportunities when it comes to expired listings. Jeff, before I move into the for sale by owner stuff, do you have anything else you want to say about expired listings?
Yeah. So one of them is a lot of our agents are having success, Justin, with calling older expireds. A lot of agents think, and by the way, I was one of them. Well, unless it came off the market in the last day or two, I'm not calling. Well, if you're in a market where, you don't have more than 5 or 6 expireds a day, which I know that's common in a lot of markets, although you'll see as the market softens, more and more expireds are starting to come off the market. Why is that? Well, because if they're listed in the spring or early summer and they had a contract length of 30, 60, 90 days, those expirations are going to start coming through. But we're having a lot of success with homes that came off the market a year ago, 2 years ago. Think of the person that was on the market for, say, 250,000 18 months ago. That house is probably worth, remember, they didn't sell for 250,000 18 months ago, and their agent at the time was probably telling them it was priced too high. So when you call an expired from 18 months ago that was listed at 250,000 and did not sell, and you tell them that it's possible we could get you 270 to 280 for your home, they're going to be more likely to listen to what you have to say. So that's one of the great things about calling old expireds right now. Justin, as you know, the number one challenge we have with expired listings is getting them priced right? Yep. It's almost always price or condition, and condition can be overcome with the right price. Yep. So with the expireds from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they had a reason for moving, right? They had a reason. If somebody's going to go through all of the struggle and all of the hassle of getting their home ready for sale, having a for sale sign in their front yard, having to talk to neighbors about where they're moving and why, and having all these people traipse through their house, they were motivated to move at one time. And if it came off the market as an expired listing, more times than not, it expired because they couldn't get their price. Well, it expired 2 years ago, can get their price now or even more. So the nice thing about the expired calls on the ones that are a year, 18 months, 24 months, those are much easier calls. They come with a lot less rejection because you're calling to tell someone their home is worth more. Most likely it's worth more today than it was 2 years ago when you had your home off the market. So don't get caught up in this. Well, there's only like 6 or 8 expireds a day. So, once I go through those, I'm kind of out of options there. No, I would look at what came off the market up to 36, even 48 months ago. Chances are they could get their dollar, they would still make a move.
Absolutely. Guys, again, there's so many opportunities right now to create listing opportunities through expired listings. Now I want to move over to for sale by owners. Now, calling, for the last 8 years, but also being the inside sales manager for Jeff Glover and Associates. The one thing I realized, guys, and even talking to agents and even, leading our prospecting boot camp, which I lead, I find that most people shy away from for sale by owners just because there's more rejection. And a lot of times it's harder in the mindset. So in the mindset, it's a lot harder to convert a for sale by owner because we automatically think and believe that they don't want to work with an agent, okay? Because they're trying to save commission. And so what we've created and what we offer through that same, opportunity through getting our scripts is a for sale by owner script, okay? And the for sale by owner script, again, is the roadmap with, we have 13 questions on this script to help move you from, getting on the phones to ultimately setting an appointment with a for sale by owner. Now, why should I call for sale by owners in this market? Well, guys, as you've heard Jeff talk about, and even me talk about in the past, is when listing inventory is low, we see more for sale by owners on the market. And the reason why is because they have a better chance of selling their home as a for sale by owner. And we know they do, right? In a balanced market, it's about 2 to 3% of for sale by owners actually sell. 97 to 98% end up listing it with an agent. In a market like this, we know that percentages are a little bit higher, but nowhere near the percentage of what it would be listing it with an agent. Why? Because of the lack of exposure, right? We know that 99% of buyers work with real estate agents, and most real estate agents are not searching for sale by owners unless they absolutely have to, because there's not a lot of inventory to find a listing. The majority of us use the MLS. The majority of us network with other real estate agents to find our inventory. And so when I call a for sale by owner, I'm going through the script. I realize they want to save money. They want to put more money in their pocket. If you understand that that's the mindset of a for sale by owner, then what we need to do is convince them that it's not the amount of commission that they pay that they're concerned about. It's how much money they walk away with. And so if we could do a really good job on a script, which Jeff and I are going to role play here in just a few moments, on how to, right, change their mindset of, hey, I'm not working with an agent because I don't want to pay commission, to, well, hey, maybe if I work with an agent, I can actually make more money and walk away with more money even while paying a commission, right? And so for sale by owners, guys, are my favorite. I absolutely love calling for sale by owners because there's so much opportunity there. And what I also know is that the majority of for sale by owners, if they don't sell, they're going to list with an agent. So when you're calling for sale by owners, the one thing that you want to do, and I want you to write this down, is I want you to build such rapport with them and do such a great job on the phone. And even if they're not ready to set an appointment with you and have you come out to meet with them, but I want you to do such a good job with lead follow-up that you're top of mind when it's time for them to list, right? So that you can at least get the opportunity to meet with them. But when it comes to prospecting for sale by owners, we've designed specific questions for you to be able to not only learn their motivation, but also challenge them to think about what you're saying and why it would be important to work with an agent. So Jeff, do you want to do some role play here?
Yeah, let's do that. And I also want to point out on for sale by owners, remember, I look at, when I call for sale by owners, Justin, I call them with this attitude. This seller probably can sell on their own. There's no doubt. I believe that, and I'm okay with that. But for how much, and will it close, right? So our value isn't just finding a buyer. Our value isn't just marketing the property. Our value as a real estate agent to a for sale by owner, I honestly believe, Justin, I will put more money in their pocket even after they pay me. And I can't wait to share with them how. And not only that, will I put more money in their pocket, but I will make sure that it gets in their pocket. I will make sure that that deal closes, because anyone can sell. You could put a sign up in your yard, you have someone drop by, write up a PA, doesn't mean it's going to close, right? Discount buyers shop for sale by owners. So chances are you're still going to end up netting less, even if you're not paying a commission to somebody, right? So is it about the commission, or is it about netting the most? Because at the end of the day, if it's about netting the most, which is what they're most interested in, I honestly believe they're going to net more with me. And when you have that belief with a passion, and you have all the reasons why, because it's built into your plan of action and what you do differently, then you have no fear of calling for sale by owners, because you honestly believe even after paying you, they're going to net more. And when you get that belief, it's so much easier to call, Justin, right?
And not only when you get that belief, but they pick up on that passion and that confidence that you have. So often I hear so many people like, Justin, there's something different about you. You know, the way you present yourself, you know, I can tell that you care. Where there's some people that are prospecting that, I mean, have no business picking up the phones and prospecting. I mean, but it makes guys like, you know, me, right? And others that they're doing this at the right level stand out, because people can tell, you know, when you show, even though it's through a phone call, they can tell the energy that you bring, the confidence, the passion, asking the right questions, you set yourself apart. And so it absolutely does matter, Jeff.
Now, Justin, before we jump into the role play, I do want to ask one question, because there are multiple ways to reach out to people today, right? Phone call, text message, email, through social media, if you can find them and stalk them on social media, showing up to their door. Why, even with all of those new methods, and I know you use a multitude of methods, why is the actual phone call itself still your favorite?
You know, because again, when I think of having to go out and knock on someone's door, which there's nothing wrong with that, and there is a time for that, you know, it takes a lot more time and effort to go get in the car, drive to their house, knock on the door. You know, you can hit way more contacts by picking up the phone and dialing than you can, you know, even sending individual emails, right? It's the fastest way of contact that there is. And so I love being able to pick up the phone. I love being able to stand in front of my computer. I stand, I don't sit. And I love being able to just show up and create the environment around myself, get myself in the mood and in the zone to make calls, and really be able to again, you know, have more contacts making phone calls than sending text message, emails, or knocking on doors.
So a prospecting session for you is almost like a presentation in itself, right? Your
100%.
Energy, your enthusiasm, you're standing up. Yep. Love that.
Absolutely.
And of course, there's a time and a place for going to the door or using the other methods. You know, I've said for years, my coach had a rule. If I didn't have an appointment to go on, he wanted me to go out and knock on 3 to 4 doors, 3 to 5 doors, whether it be for sale by owners or expires, or sometimes I would do circle prospecting at the door. So I think it's good to do a balance of both. And there's some agents gravitate more towards the phone. Some agents gravitate more towards in person. Either way, the scripts are the same. What you say is still the same, and that's why it has to be mastered. So I'm a for sale by owner, Justin. You're reaching out to me. Let's go.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, good morning. My name is Justin Ford, and I'm a local realtor. I was calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
Yeah, it is, but we're not working with real estate agents right now, Justin.
You know what, Jeff, I can totally appreciate that. But the reason for my call is actually twofold. One, to see if you're working with real estate agents that bring you buyers. Are you?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we're not interested in a listing agent, but we would be open to work with the buyer's agent.
Okay, great. And two, because we know that studies tell us if you are not successful as a for sale by owner, then you'll be hiring an agent. So Jeff, my question is, what are your plans if you can't get it sold on your own?
Honestly, we don't really have any. You know, Justin, as you know, the market's hot, inventory's tight, so we're pretty confident we're going to be able to find a buyer.
Yeah, you know what? The market is hot right now, and you know, it's definitely a great time to sell. And so, Jeff, how long do you plan on trying it on your own before you'd entertain listing it with a top agent like myself?
Well, honestly, you know, we don't have a timeline in terms of interviewing agents, because we're super confident we're going to get it sold on our own. So I guess indefinite.
I can totally appreciate that, Jeff. And when the home does sell, where were you planning on moving to?
Yeah, great question. So we've actually already bought a place down in Orlando.
Nice, Orlando. Now, how soon would you like to be there?
Ideally before the next winter. That was our plan. Get the house on the market, get it sold this summer, so we don't have to spend another winter here in Michigan.
Yeah, I can totally appreciate that. And believe it or not, Jeff, it's crazy to think that winter is right around the corner. And so what takes you down to Orlando?
We've got family and friends down there. We're big fans of Disney. We love, going to Florida, and it's not too far from the beaches if we want to spend a day on the beach. And there's this really cool real estate conference there every January. We want to make sure we're close by for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Jeff, what methods are you currently using for marketing your home?
Well, I've got a sign out there, which seems to be enough. I'm getting a lot of calls off the sign. And we also bought an add-on for salebyowner.com.
Nice. And how did you determine your sales price?
I just kind of paid attention to what Zillow and Redfin said the home was worth. And, obviously getting feedback from buyers and buyers agents when they bring their buyers through, we seem to be priced right. What do you think about the price?
Well, you know what, Jeff? Obviously, I haven't ran any comps yet, but one of the things that I do is, obviously I can go more in depth and take a look at your house and, give you just an idea of what it would be worth. But let me ask you this question, Jeff. Are you prepared to adjust your price down when working with a buyer?
Yeah, we've left a little room for negotiation, Justin.
Okay, great. And Jeff, why did you decide to sell it yourself rather than list it with an agent, make more money?
Well, I guess I didn't think we would necessarily make more money by paying a commission. So our goal obviously was to save on the 6% commission.
Yeah, most people don't think that they can make more money working with an agent. But Jeff, I'm sure you've come up with a bottom line number that you can't go below to where it wouldn't make sense to sell, correct?
Yeah, we've got a bottom line number in mind.
And as long as you get that number, does it really matter how you sell or how much commission you pay as long as you get what you want?
Yeah, I guess, that's a fair point. We've got a better chance in my mind of getting that number without paying commission, but certainly if I could get that number, then it wouldn't matter what I paid.
Right. And Jeff, let me ask you a question. Are you more focused on the amount of commission that you save or the amount of money that you walk away with?
Well, obviously the amount of money we walk away with is important. And my thought process is because the market's so hot, we don't need to pay an agent. And therefore we're going to save commission, which is going to mean we get to walk away with more.
So Jeff, if there was a way that I could show you how to put more money in your pocket by working with a real estate agent like myself, help you sell it sooner than later so we can ensure that you get to Orlando before the first snow, what would stop you from at least wanting to take a look at that if there's no cost or obligation to you?
Well, I guess, when you put it that way, it's hard to say no to that. But my question would be, how would you do that? Right. Everyone else wants my listing and they want to charge me 6%. So how are you able to put more money in my pocket?
That's a great question, Jeff. And that can be one of the first things that we go over when we meet. I've actually got some time available tonight between 4 or 5 or tomorrow between 5 and 6. Which one works better for you?
Well, I'm not really interested in listing the home with a listing agent right now. And I'm not necessarily interested in paying a commission either. If you've got a buyer, certainly you can bring them by.
Absolutely. And Jeff, we work with a ton of buyers. But the only reason why I asked to meet with you was because you said, if there was a way that I could show you, right, without having to, compromise what it is that you're looking to walk away with, and I could show you how to put that amount of money in your pocket or more, even while paying an agent or paying a commission to an agent like myself. I mean, would you have 15 minutes to spare to at least take a look at that?
So you have a way, something different that is different than all these other realtors that are calling me?
I don't know what any of the other realtors that are who they are, what they're saying when they call you. What I know is we have a proven process and system that has been helping us, help our sellers this spring and summer. A lot of times sell their home for even more than the asking price, even up to $50,000 more. We just help someone sell their home for. Now, Jeff, I can't make any guarantees that I can get you $50,000 more for your home. But if there was an opportunity for me to help you net more money in your pocket, working with an agent like myself, even paying a full commission versus selling it on your own, I mean, again, what would stop you from at least wanting to take a look at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you make up a good point there. And I guess we'd be open to hearing you out.
Okay, great. Well, Jeff, again, I've got some time between 4 and 5 tonight, or between, tomorrow between 5 and 6. Which one works better for you?
Tonight will be fine. Yep, tonight will work great.
All right, great. Jeff, I'll see you tonight. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Nice job. Give Justin a virtual clap or throw your clapping hands down in the chat. That was great. I love how you took my motivation of moving to Orlando and you put that back into the close. That shows me that you're listening. You're asking questions about how I chose Orlando. Super important stuff because people don't want to talk about selling their home. They don't want to talk about showings. They don't want to talk about listing. Nobody in this session should ever use the language, when do you plan on listing your home? People don't want to list their house.
Right.
People want to move to their destination. So the focus should always be about where they want to go and how you can help them net more, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. So Justin, I know that, we've got a program coming up for those that are on this session and want to get better at prospecting and mastering scripts and being held accountable. Essentially, those 6 keys that you shared in the beginning. If somebody wants to coach with you one-on-one, I know it's like uber expensive and you don't coach many people one-on-one, but there is an opportunity to work with you in a 16-week session. That's a very small group setting, like less than 100 people on a Zoom where you interact and ask questions and role play and chat and all of that. So can you share us a little bit about that?
Yep. Guys, we've designed a program to literally teach you, the agent, how to do this, right? If you want to learn more how to role play like Jeff and I did, but to be able to do that live and in person when you're actually making prospecting calls, we've designed the Prospecting Bootcamp, which is a 16-week course where I take you through everything A to Z, from expireds to for sale by owners to just listed to just sold, to knowing how to overcome objections, to creating a strong mindset, to going through the 6 keys to success, to layering it with accountability. I mean, guys, I open up my entire toolbox and give you absolutely everything that I do, everything that Jeff taught me how to do when I first got started, and everything that, it takes to be a strong prospector and to be able to go out and take more listings. And what's amazing about this program, guys, it's such, and honestly, I think we charge not enough for it. That's just my opinion, Jeff. $299, guys, it's $299 a month for 4 months, which is a $1,200 investment. And I can assure you of this, if you go through this program, okay, if you go through this 16-week program, we meet on Zoom every Monday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a Zoom. If you follow every single thing that I teach you over 16 weeks, and you do every single thing that I show you to do, I guarantee, this is a guarantee, I guarantee that you will make your investment back multiple times over. Think about if you went through this program and just took one listing, what is your average sales price? What is the commission that you get? And now subtract the $1,200 investment. Guarantee, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, guys. I guarantee that you will learn exactly how to create more opportunities, fill your pipeline, and take more listings. I give you my absolute all. And if you ask any of the clients that have gone through this program over the last couple of years with me, every single person that has done all that we teach and literally commits to doing it consistently, they're taking 3, 5, 7+ listings a month just from prospecting.
Yeah. And and I know that for a fact because we have people that come up to me or say from our stage at our events, hey, we first, before we got involved in one-on-one coaching, we couldn't afford the $1,000 a month commitment. So we started up with what was the lowest entry point, which is Prospecting Bootcamp. And Prospecting Bootcamp is essentially like the foundation because we have to learn to master. It doesn't matter what we say at the table or what we present when we get there if we're not generating enough leads. So I look at Prospecting Bootcamp as essentially the lead generation class, right? Learning how to master prospecting for sale by owners, expired, circle prospecting, your database. And it's not all just phone calls. We displayed today a lot about actual phone conversations, but Justin goes through all the methods that he's using. And of course, that we're using at our real estate team here to still sell between 900 and 1,000 homes a year. So it's 16 weeks. It's a 45-minute Zoom, right?
Yeah, 45 to 60 minutes.
Yep. And people are able to ask questions and interact. A lot of times what's super cool, because I'm in the Prospecting Bootcamp Facebook group, from time to time as a bonus, Justin will just go live in the group. Hey guys, I'm doing expired calls this morning. Join me from 8 to 9:30. I'm going to be live in the group. And literally in front of the camera, he's just there making calls as he does as part of his normal routine.
Yep. And guys, like Jeff said, it's not just expireds and for sale by owners. It's door knocking. It's database. It's social media. There's 25 different sources of business that Jeff and his team have used to sell 1,000 homes a year. And we go through every source, right? So you might think, well, hey, I need to learn how to prospect for sale by owners and expireds. Well, guys, that's just the beginning. We give you all this other stuff. We teach you the different personality styles and why it's so important to learn how to be versatile when going on appointments, when setting appointments. So again, it's a 16-week course where we break down everything A to Z, how to build a bulletproof mindset, right? You guys are going to send me that 6 keys to success. You're going to send me your goals. You're going to send me your why. You're going to tell me what your mindset struggles will be and all of those things. And I'm going to hold you accountable to them. Why? Because if you sign up for this course, I'm committed to help you win. You get my accountability through this group. And it's not just through that 45-minute session. We communicate through Facebook. You guys can reach out to me and I can create this opportunity of accountability to help you guys go to the next level, because without accountability, guys, it's hard to succeed. And so there you have it, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I know one of your keys, or your last key, is accountability. And
Absolutely.
so a lot of people sign up for one-on-one coaching to get a higher level of accountability. But what's cool about Justin's program is it's one of the few of the group coaching programs that we do that has an accountability piece built right in. Why?
Right.
Because Justin is so passionate about that, right? He says, I don't care. I'm going to go above and beyond and make sure that I'm holding this group accountable. And so a lot of it is public accountability in the private Facebook group, specifically for Prospecting Bootcamp. But it's also, as Justin said, getting involved with the particular clients that are in there and asking them deeper questions. I mean, this isn't just a sit in front of a computer and watch a 45-minute webinar. This is interactive. And, you know, I know from just feedback from people that have been through the program, this lays the foundation for a lot of people. And you know what else it does, Justin? It's also for people that have actually maybe mastered their database or mastered marketing or built their business in another way. You have a lot of experienced agents. I'm surprised when I see the list of experienced agents that go through your boot camp because they've never had to prospect, or they want to be able to teach others how to prospect. We have a lot of lead agents or brokers who run teams, and they've never been able to teach people how to prospect. So they either take the program themselves or they have their people sign up for their program. I had agents come up to me when we were up in Traverse City saying, hey, honestly, Jeff, I'm never going to be great at the phones. I don't want to be great at the phones, but if I'm hiring people to prospect for our company, can I just put them through Prospecting Bootcamp? Absolutely. It's the same thing that Justin taught our agents that are now succeeding at a high level when he was our inside sales manager. So it'd be kind of like getting a personal prospecting manager for the next 16 weeks. By the way, speaking of, because people want to know, when does it start? It starts the week of August 23rd. So we've got about 3 weeks or so before it starts. Yes, it's $299 a month for just 4 months. It is the lowest point of entry in any group coaching program that we have. And if you want more information, you just text the word prospecting. All right, for Prospecting Bootcamp, text the word prospecting to 55444, and we'll get all your questions answered there. And you'll get that flyer that we put on the screen. I know some of you said that, you know, you couldn't read all the print on there. You'll get a copy of that sent right to you. Again, text the word prospecting to 55444. Justin, anything else you want to say before we break for the day?
Guys, at the end of the day, it comes down to how many people are you talking to a day? If you want to do more deals, you have to talk to more people. And this program is 100% the program to be able to help you learn how to do that with confidence, consistently, and show up and get the results. So I'm looking forward to the next class with you, being a part of the Prospecting Bootcamp, and I'm 100% committed to help you succeed.
Awesome. I believe that, Justin, because we've got not just dozens, but hundreds of success stories now that started in this program. People that started with this and went to another program. Okay. Last, but certainly not least, if you got some value out of today's session, make sure you show some love for Justin down in the chat. And while you're doing that, make sure you write down gloveru.com/webinar, because on Wednesday, for the first time ever, we're doing a live webinar with myself and Taylor Kerrigan, the operational brain and implementer behind the scenes. That'll be an awesome conversation, one we've never done live in this type of setting, where we'll be talking about how we were able to build 7 or 8 businesses, acquire a few businesses, and run multiple businesses at a very high level. We'll be back at noon Eastern on Wednesday for that session. And if that's not your cup of tea, again, gloveru.com/webinar for all of the sessions. We got 5 more to go now. For those of you that are on the East Coast, just plan on having your lunch with us on Mondays and Wednesdays for the next 3 weeks. And the rest of you, we will see you at whatever time it is in your time zone. Again, that's gloveru.com/webinar. We look forward to seeing you all soon, whether it's in our next session for free or, of course, in prospecting boot camp with Justin. You'll be glad you did. We'll see you guys. Thanks for your time today.
You guys.